Wow. How about that, folks? Looks like everything is working. Cross your fingers, folks. We're going in. Wow. Welcome to the Paranormal Portal. I'm your host, Brent Thomas. And hopefully we'll have a good, smooth show tonight. Last night, if you tuned in, obviously we had just basically it all hit the fan. Somehow, by some measure of divine grace, the stream kept going, but my ability to look at anything, articles or otherwise, was just gone. Like my browsers all crashed. It was really weird. But I've been doing some troubleshooting and trying to sort through it all, and it looks like we're in pretty good shape, all things considered. Everything's still working. There's no smoke and flames coming out of the portal tower, so again, cross your fingers. I think we'll be in good shape. I was getting stressed last night. Yeah, me too, Grandizer. I thought I was dead in the water, but I was still talking to you like I was here, and it's a good thing I did and didn't start cussing, because I thought I was dead in the water and not even connected. I thought everything crashed, but for some odd reason, the stream kept going, and I didn't start cussing like a trucker and get in troubles. But, there's an old saying. I know you all are familiar with it, but no matter how dark the storm clouds, there's always a silver lining. So let me present this to you all, because this is the silver lining. So buckle up, folks. We're going in.
We have built a beautiful podcast.
Let me do this again. Sorry.
Here at the Paranormal Portal, we have built a beautiful podcast. Nobody thought it could be done, but we did it. Unlike Anthony Roscoe Merkel and his Confessionals podcast, our merchandise doesn't come from China. We make everything here in America. We are proud to introduce our new sponsor, AOL, a great internet service provider, a beautiful corporation. In 1984, AOL was the largest internet provider in the United States. Normally $6.99 a month, but with our promo code, Tony Merkel Stinks, you will experience amazing internet speeds, great customer service from an amazing company. With our promo code, Tony Merkel Stinks, you will save 30% off the normal price. Won't you come on down and use your promo code to support the Paranormal Portal?
For the podcast, I'm going to do several of them, but I just finished up one today. Oh no, what the hell's going on? Unable to connect. What is going on? What is going on? Oh no. I want to thank AOL for supporting what I do. Hey look, I am saving money. Tony Merkel Stinks. Thanks so much, AOL. So there you go, folks. That's the that's the silver lining. God bless you, AOL. We needed you. Special thanks to Wes Germer for whipping up that gem. Yeah, you just never know. That guy's got just such a good mind for just finding the humor in anything. Last night I didn't think it was so funny, but now I'm glad it all happened, because I got that gem, and there you go. So that's hilarious. Hey, look, I'm saving money. That cracks me up, man. That's so brilliant. So yeah, that comes from the great mind of Wes Germer at Sasquatch Chronicles, and he whipped that up last night and shared it with me, and I was like, oh my God, that's gold. So hope you guys enjoyed that. That was an AI voice. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that wasn't me. I didn't narrate any of that. That was an AI rendering of my voice. So it's pretty good though, actually. I was like, wow, that sounds like me, I think, doesn't it? It did to me. I was like, wow. Although I can say Tony Merkel. So remember, folks, AOL.com, Tony Merkel stinks is your code to save some cabbage on the deal. So that was funny. I needed that laugh after last night because, it's frustrating as hell when things go sideways. So it's good to have a good chuckle at the end of it. So thanks, brother. That was hilarious. Good to see you all, as always, here on the portal, and things are going good. Things are off to a good start, so I can't complain. I mean, I could probably, but who wants to hear that? You didn't tune in to hear me whine about stuff, so let's just say that tonight we got a lot on the menu for the show. We were going to get to the news here briefly, in brief moments. We're going to get to the news. I'll spit this out eventually. And after that, remember, it's Saturday night. Tony's got to cut down on the coleslaw. It did, Renee. Yeah, it really hit the fan last night. But it all turned out good. I mean, there's not much you can do when you're live broadcasting, and it's, just basically on your own ability to stay online and to keep things running. And so far, I think we're batting really good, but when things go sideways, man, they go all sideways. And all you can do is just, roll with it. I remember I used to get seriously stressed out and just beside myself when things didn't connect. And it would happen quite a bit when I had a really crummy connection. It would just be like, God, I'd just be raging because I want to put forward the best shows that I can. But unfortunately, when it goes bad, it's like all you can do is just roll with it. So Maggie says, you did great. Thank you, Maggie. I appreciate that. So we're going to get to the question of the week after the news, and then we'll dive into some creatures and cryptids and see where we end up. But remember, the floor is always open as far as, having conversations. Just please just capitalize your questions or statements in all caps if you can, because it's much easier for me to see than just the general chat things coming by. We were going to do shout outs last night and everything when everything went sideways. So I'll try to do them tonight, just to say hello to all of you guys. But I currently see Kirsten Leah's in here. I'm sure Isaac is here. Yes, Isaac's here. He smashed that like. God bless you, sir. Renee Cruz is here. Annie Manuel Grandizer is here. Good to see you guys. Thank you so much. Maggie is here. Aggravated Progressive. And I'm just scrolling up as we go. Herman Vera. Good. Good to see you, Herman. Thanks for coming in. I'm just scrolling again to see who else has popped in. Lucky Gypsy, of course. Hey, Brent, sorry a little late. It's your birthday. Happy birthday, Lucky Gypsy. Thank you so much for all you do. I really appreciate it. She went out tonight, had a fantastic time, so I wanted to check in. Well, God bless you. Thank you so much for being here, and happy birthday. I'm honored that you're choosing to spend at least part of it here with us. That's amazing, but I hope your day was absolutely phenomenal. See what I did there? Phenomenal. That was for you. All right, so I guess we got a lot to get to, and again, cross your fingers, everything works good. Rachel Gets It Right is in here. I'm just looking to see if I missed any other names. Grateful Owl is here. John Temperin is here. Good to see you guys. Thank you so much for coming in the door. And there's Herman again. I think that's everybody on the front end of this, unless more are coming in currently as I'm speaking. But yeah, I just thought that video was brilliant, and Wes actually opened his podcast this week with that, and that was absolutely hilarious. It's a since it's audio, it's a little different take on the podcast, but it's equally funny, and actually just a little bit of a different take on it. So you'll have to listen to the newest episode of Sasquatch Chronicles to hear that as well. But yeah, thanks, Wes, man. That was awesome. Okay, so Rashid Jurgens came in. How you doing? Rashid, that's a new name. Thanks for coming in, man. It's nice to see you. Unless that's a rebrand and you're somebody that we already knew, but you got a new name. Hi, Deborah Neighbors. Good to see you. Kitty Cattywhack as well. Wonderful to have you guys here. Brandy Copeland came in. Great to see you guys. Thank you so much. So, without further delay, I guess we can get to the news and find out just what is the news today. Is my voice kind of cracked? I mean, is it, when you overload a microphone, is it clipping? It's called clipping. When you talk too loud into a mic and stuff, and it redlines. A lot of times that'll be heard like crackling or static or something. Are you hearing static in my voice as I'm talking? Just let me know, please, if you would. Because I don't want it to be that. So just let me know on the chats if you would. But let's get to the news, because it's time to inform you. No, it's okay. Thank you, Grandizer. A tad raspy, but that's my voice probably too, eh? Sounds fine. Aggravated Progressive says, okay, thank you, guys. I appreciate that. Let's get to the news. It's time for the news. Or gun news. There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Paranormal Portal News Desk. I realize I haven't started the Ghost Radar, which is like the Doppler radar here on the Paranormal Portal. It's detecting any potentially unseen presences that might be stopping in for a little of the same entertainment you're enjoying. Because let's face it, maybe the afterlife is boring. I don't know. All right, it is August 3rd, 2024. There we go. The Ghost Radar is now live. So if you see things on this circle here where my mouse is moving, if you see dots up here and stuff, or if you see real big deviations in these lines, that could mean potentially indicating a paranormal presence. So just keep an eye on that. That's kind of like our weather. John Temperance, an unseen presence. Oh. Well, we see you loud and clear. I don't know if you can see loud and clear, but we're going with it. All right, so good to see you all. Dog Digger, good to see you over in Rumble. Barbara Mora's over there, and Gypsy's over there too. So good to see you guys. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, let's dig into the news and find out just what I've curated for your benefit tonight. As always, we utilize many different sites throughout the course of these shows, so please make sure to visit them. Give them your traffic, because your traffic helps to keep the lights on these different sites. Every site needs traffic. And to get the traffic, it's also a costly venture, so your traffic equals revenue. That translates to help pay the bills. So definitely help support them. We utilize amazing sites on the show, and your traffic is appreciated as well. So, all right, the first one, I've got through 3 news articles for you guys tonight. It's Saturday, so we've kind of picked through a lot of them, but these are the 3 newest ones that came up, and I was like, oh, these look good. So hopefully you agree, and we'll see what happens here. But the first one comes from an amazing site called unexplained-mysteries.com. This is the modern mysteries section of unexplained-mysteries.com. And let me pull this up. I think I got to close that last. There we go. Close that last camera, because nobody's co-hosting with me. It's just me and all of you. So, all right. This is Crop Circle at Bradbury, England sparks police investigation. Look at that one. That's a pretty one. Is it super intricate? No. It's hard to know if they're, I think that there probably is a very real phenomena that is crop circles, but I think there's probably quite a few that are just done by people. And obviously, if you see one that says like Kraft mac and cheese or something, that's probably not aliens. But sometimes these geometric patterns are incredibly intricate, mathematically precise, and it doesn't seem likely to be done by some guy with a wire hoop on his baseball cap and a board and some rope. I just don't necessarily buy that they, map that all out and are able to actually complete it and then be gone and hiding by the time daylight comes around. So these things appear overnight. So it does seem to be some kind of phenomena going on there. Is it communications from other worlds? Maybe. Other intelligences? Maybe. Other dimensions? Maybe. I don't know, but there are certainly those that are man-made as well. So let's check it out. Crop circles might look impressive, but they can damage crops and are a major nuisance for farmers. And although these days crop circles tend to be regarded more as the works of art than evidence of alien visitors, the phenomena still manages to generate interest whenever a new design shows up. Not everyone, however, appreciates it when they do. A local news report out of Bradbury, England recently, a farmer was particularly annoyed when he discovered that someone had created a large, intricate crop formation in one of his fields. The design itself is certainly impressive and must have taken someone quite some time and skill to make, but it also caused several £1,000s worth of damage to the crops. This has had a significant financial impact on the farmer during a challenging summer due to the weather, Police Constable Kate Schofield said in a statement. And I would ask anyone who may have information about the damage caused to please come forward and contact the Dorset Police. The incident demonstrates that while creating crop circles might seem like a harmless activity, they can and do have a genuine impact on local farmers. And as things stand, the persons possibly responsible have yet to be found. So is this one a really intricate one? No, but it seems very precise. Could it be legit? I don't know. There's testing to get to that, but this is from Crop Circles from the Air, their YouTube channel. Let's take a look at what they found. I don't know. Oh, let's get rid of the music first of all. I didn't mean to pause it. There we go. So this is from July of 2024, so it's very, very new. And there it is. There you can see it. Could that be a message? I don't know. I don't understand how these things are messages anyway, but I don't pretend to know. I mean, some of them seem to be direct responses to potential messages sent out into space. Others just seem to be incredibly intricate. I don't know what they're saying here. But I just was more focused on actually the crop circle. It does seem very uniformly done, though, with directions being very deliberate. I don't know. How do you know? Without examining the crops and looking for radiation readings and stuff like that, it may be impossible to tell. Look, is this actually something or nothing? I don't know. It's anybody's guess. But they are really striking. I mean, just to do a geometric shape like this with that kind of precision, I don't know how they figure it out. I'm not sure how they map this stuff out and make it happen, but it is very interesting all the same. Again, I'm not saying you need to believe in this stuff or not. It's curious. It may be something. It may not be. But at any rate, it's a new crop circle that popped up over there. So you be the judge. You look at someone like this. That's pretty interesting. Beautiful world of crop circles. Yeah. And then there's there's lots of different videos you could check out that are related to that. But at any rate, there you have it, folks. Some crop circles in England. Are they real or not? You be the judge. Let me know in the comments if you have an opinion on that. I'd love to hear it. I think that there are some that may very well be legit, but there are certainly some that are clearly man-made. But, you be the judge. All right, well, let's go to the next one because there's always more news here. And I got 2 other articles to get to tonight, so I guess we'll go to that. Next up is an article from, again, unexplained-mysteries.com. This one is coming from the Creatures, Myths, and Legends. And this one may be depicting a werewolf. I don't know. Let's see what it says. It says, short clip of strange werewolf-like creature goes viral on TikTok. And there is an image of said creature, I guess. I don't believe I've seen this one. This is interesting. All right, let's check it out. The footage shows an unidentified dark-colored creature moving in a particularly eerie and unnatural way. Is there something lurking on the streets of Argentina? Well, some people certainly seem to think so. This unusual clip, which was reportedly filmed in the city of Reconquista, Santa Fe, went viral after being uploaded onto video sharing social media website TikTok by user Leo Gomez 977, I guess. And it shows a peculiar creature that appears to be kneeling or sitting down on a road at night with its limbs outstretched in an unnatural, eerie way that's difficult to make sense of. Its head can also be seen moving up and down. The clip, which racked up a number of views, likes, and comments, generated some heated debate, with some users suggesting that what it shows is actually a werewolf, something that is particularly entrenched in the local folklore. Others, meanwhile, dismissed the clip as a deliberate hoax. Video shared by a neighbor of Reconquista is a mystery and no one knows what it is. It is not the first time that something like this appears, the uploader wrote. You can check out the clip for yourself below. What do you think it shows? Well, let's find out. Is there? I don't know if there's music. No, there it is. I don't know. It's kind of, it's really ambiguous, isn't it? Is there any way to make this bigger? Huh. Honestly, it really kind of seems like some kind of AI amalgamation of something. And I know that's the easy, safe response to this kind of stuff. Oh, it's AI. And that's a knee-jerk reaction. I have no basis for that. But the thing that I find interesting, I can't really... Dang. Oh, I guess we're going to go to the actual... Well, hopefully this is right. Let's see. I accidentally clicked on it a couple times. So, yeah, I guess we're going there. Let's go bigger. I guess it's the same size. Doesn't really matter. The weird part is this seam here. It almost looks like a seam. Like the AI trying to make a smooth to a more weedy part or something. But it's a very, looks like a very concise line or edge. Almost has a shine to it. So what are we looking at? I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I think it's a big leap to say, well, that's a werewolf. I don't know that that's what we're looking at all. It could be, it could not be. It's just, the hand almost ends in a point. If this is a hand, that's very strange too. So, and I'm not seeing any pronounced ears or anything like that. It does seem to have more of a feline kind of head, but I don't see any kind of ears or even hair. It almost looks like smooth and black. But this hand ending in like a point to me is strange. Once again, let's check it out. It's anybody's guess. This hand right here, the way it ends in almost a point, is very peculiar. It's got, I don't know. It's just strange, whatever it is. So, what is it? Hell, I don't know. Could be anything, but it's definitely unusual. You be the judge. As always, what do you think it is? I don't know. I'm not really on board with it being this is, I guess, is a better, because it's kind of a still frame, but there seems to be very deliberate lighting here as well, which is kind of unusual for something that wants to probably remain hidden. I don't know. This is just because it's all shadowy, and then there's this really light spot. Now, is it possible to catch something like this in a street light? Yeah, I suppose. But it is kind of peculiar. There's just not enough to go on other than this weird figure. What are the back legs? Are there back legs, or does it end in a stump? It looks like there might be some kind of a hip here that goes into a, upper, I don't know, chicken thigh kind of thing. I don't know. But then it just kind of stops, like it doesn't go anywhere. So I'm not really sure what we're looking at here, to be honest with you. But it could be a creature. It could be an AI. It's just, there's just not enough to work with here to draw any serious conclusions. It's kind of a leap of faith, no matter what you think. I mean, even to say it's AI is a leap of assumption. There's just not enough to go on here. There's not a wide shot. It's just this really, I don't know, encapsulated view. So, again, you be the judge. I'm not going to try to convince you either way. I just think it's very interesting. So, I don't have any answers, though. Just a lot of questions. Story of my life. All right, we got one more, and this is archaeology and history, and this is a strange one. I know the mysteries of the pyramids continue to this day. Like, how did they figure this out? How did they move millions of blocks weighing several tons each into position on this absolutely geometrically perfect structure, almost like it's point so many degrees, point zero something or point something degrees off of true north. It's very perfectly aligned to the earth. And what is it? How did they make that happen? I don't know. But I think these mysteries are incredibly profound. And let's dig into this one, because what this one says from unexplained-mysteries.com: were Egypt's pyramids built using a hydraulic lift system? Maybe, I don't know. Could they possibly have had the knowledge to make hydraulics in these cultures that are thousands or tens of thousands of years old? I mean, it would be at least 10,000 years ago, right? If there were a lot of prevailing theories as they were built sometime around 8,000 BC. But, we're in 2024, so that makes them at least 10,000 years old. Could there have been hydraulic systems of some sort employed to make the pyramids? Let's see what it says. Archaeologists have found evidence to suggest that a primitive hydraulic lift might have been used to move heavy stones. This is brand new news to me. For years, the question of how ancient Egyptians managed to create such enormous structures using nothing but primitive tools has remained one of the most heated debates in all of archaeology. While several theories have been put forward, one of the lesser known possibilities is that the builders of the pyramids used a form of primitive hydraulic lift to move the stones into place. In a new study, evidence of such a system has been identified inside the pyramid of, Djoser, I don't know how the hell to pronounce that, I guess Djoser, a structure that was built 4,700 years ago. That's not quite as old. Ancient Egyptians are famous for their pioneering and mastery of hydraulics through canals for irrigation purposes and barges to transport huge stones, the team wrote. And this work opens a new line of research, the use of hydraulic force to erect the massive structures built by the pharaohs. Interesting. Headed up by Xavier Landreau, the president of the Paleotechnic Archaeological Institute inside of Paris, France, this new paper puts forth the notion that a large shaft found in the interior of the 200-foot high pyramid was part of a hydraulic lift system that was used to move the stones using water. We identified that the step pyramid's internal architecture is consistent with a hydraulic elevation mechanism never reported before, the team wrote. Ancient architects likely raised the stones from the pyramid's center in a volcano fashion using the sediment-free water. Geyser El Medur, a mysterious structure situated less than a mile away, may have acted as a dam that collected rainfall and funneled it through pipes for use in the construction. Once inside the pyramid, the force of the water would have pushed up the central shaft a bit, like a volcanic eruption, elevating up to 100 tons of stone at a time. As things stand, however, this theory has yet to be definitively proven. Yeah, I bet you that's going to be a tough sell. Maybe, though. I mean, who the hell knows? Is it possible they knew how to harness hydraulic force? Well, why not? If we figured it out, the thing to remember about ancient cultures is that these were not stupid people. They were not like somehow inferior to us intellectually. They just hadn't discovered the things that we have discovered, I guess. All of the deep, mechanical forces and ways to harness them. But maybe they had other methodologies that were equally as advanced, but just took a different route somehow. And utilizing the natural forces around them makes sense. I mean, these are, again, incredibly intelligent people. If you took someone out of, 4,000 years ago and plopped them in today's world, other than the culture shock and seeing the world as it exists now and getting over that, I imagine if they could participate just as well in today's society as they did in these ancient societies. They wouldn't be just like these, useless bricks that we'd position at a greeting desk somewhere. They would be probably integral parts of our modern society, at least, based upon intelligence, not, any, I'm not meaning to cast disparaging remarks at any, cultures, ancient or otherwise, just that, we oftentimes think of, well, we know so much more than our ancient people. They were kind of superstitious idiots. Well, no, they weren't. They were brilliant, and they managed to carve a world out of nothing, much more than we do today, as a matter of fact. So pretty cool stuff. I don't know what you think, but again, it's up to you to come to your own conclusions. But there's the news. That's all the news I wrangled for you guys tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Maybe learned something you didn't know. Maybe something new, some new take or idea. And I don't know. You're welcome. If you learned something, you're welcome. Anyway, let's get back to the rest of the show. We're going to get into the question of the week next. So let's dive into that. Cymatics. Yeah, that's a good idea too. The only news I trust, John says. Amen. Well, there you go, folks. That was the news. Hopefully you found that entertaining and worth your time. The music is back. Yeah, it's always been back, Nate. Didn't you hear it yesterday? Weren't you? Oh, I thought you were here yesterday. I mean, every time I do the news, the music is part of it. So that's the open and close. Also, thanks to Mr. Wes Germer. He's actually an incredibly creative guy. I mean, just amazingly talented. So, all right. The weekend isn't a weekend unless there's a disco casino music. Well, I'm glad you enjoy that. I have no idea what that music came from. Like I said, Wes made that, and that music cracks me up every time too, because it's just this side. Well, I mean, it could actually be porn music, honestly. So the Egyptians may not have had hydronic down, but rumor has it Cleopatra had Hauk Thuy figured out. I'm not sure what Hauk Thuy is. That's interesting, Batman. What is that? I don't know what that means. Or is this? Am I just biting on a bad joke here? I'm not sure. It sounds like a punchline. Oh, never mind. I got you. Got a Hauk here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. I got it. Yeah, I'm a little slow out of the gate there, but I caught that one finally. Yeah. Sorry. Bad joke. Gotcha. Yeah. I'm like, oh really? Thank you for that. I appreciate looking stupid on my own show. It's a play on the meme, maybe Maggie, where that girl comes out of the bar. I was like, how do you keep your boyfriend happy? And she said, sometimes you just gotta hook tui on it. So it's actually wildly inappropriate, but it was funny. Anyway, I don't know. That's about all the explanation I'm going to get you. It's a TikTok joke. Yeah, you get it. Yeah, okay. The hawk girl. Yeah, hawk toi or whatever. However, I mean, it's kind of a huge meme right now. So it's okay, Batman. It's okay. I was, kind of, I thought you were coming, blowing out some knowledge here. I was like, ooh, what's that? What's hawk toi? I'm an idiot. That's all right. I got a microphone though, so you get to hear all my stupidity in one clean take. All right. I washed one off the car yesterday. I don't even know what that means, aggravated, but I'm not sure I want to know anymore. I'll just leave that lay there. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I forgot to open up Discord for the show, but wait, I can do that now. Let's launch some Discord here. Hopefully that launches. I'm cringing every time I open something new. It's like, ooh, please work. I think it'll work. I think it'll be just fine. What the hell is on the screen? Oh, that's that. Why is it there? I don't even know. That's very strange. Wonder why it's lined up like that. I'm just looking at my other screen here as I wait for Discord to open. So far, everything seems to be functioning within normal parameters, Captain. So we got that going for us. All right. Discord, go ahead and launch. Come on. Come on. There we go. All right. Discord is now successfully launched, which means we can dive into all things. Oh, thank you, Maggie. I just found out right now that Maggie had messaged me on Discord. I didn't have the ability to see anything yesterday. Everything was just locked up. For some reason, again, the only thing that was working was the stream. That stayed connected in broadcasting, but everything on my computer was dead. Every window I tried to open, every web page I tried to go to, it was all cannot connect. I was just screwed. It was really funky. Really funky. I should look, though, to see Paranormal Portal new sponsor on YouTube. Your post. Buck. No, that was Wes's post. I got somebody in my Discord going, hey, Paranormal Portal. I'll put it up on screen because it is time. It is time. I got to pull up this now. I got to do this because it's time, ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Discord question of the week. Here's my statement of the week. Puck asks, Brent Thomas, is Paranormal Portal new sponsor on YouTube your post? Oh, so this is how Sheldon must have saw it. Okay. Because Sheldon messaged me and said, oh, yeah, there it is. I love that still frame. That is the funniest thing ever. It's such me hanging out with Kennedy. Kennedy actually died long before I was born. But, yeah, I'm not quite that old. Sheldon. Oh, my God, laughing my day off. Wes, he knew right away. That's funny. That's how Sheldon saw it. I was like, I don't know how Sheldon saw that. He messaged me and said, hey, did you see what Wes did? And I was like, yeah. I missed part 2 last night, Karen says. Well, I'm sorry, Karen. I'm sorry I had to break it into 2 parts. Yeah, crazy. All right, so we are going to get to the Discord question of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a Discord server. If you're not familiar with it, you should get familiar with it. If you use Discord, or if you're willing to learn to use Discord, if you like our chat community, a lot of the same people that you're communicating with in our chat are on the Discord. They're doing their thing over there when we're not live, doing live shows. However, I'm going to put the Discord link here. Discord.gg/paranormal portal. Special thanks again to K-Love for making sure to elevate our server enough that we could get our own dedicated URL. And let's do this. Put it over in both chats. There's the Discord. If you want to join, you too can become part of these weekly discussions or daily discussions. There's lots of threads of activity going on in the Paranormal Portal server as you look up here. If you go to the very top, there's the Paranormal Portal flag, and here's the server right here. And you see all these different threads that you can communicate in. Using Discord is a little unusual for a lot of people when they first dive into the Discord world because it is a bit different, but it's really not a complicated platform. It's just things are in weird places. Like you got to just figure out where things are. So when you want to communicate in a specific thread, like we're going to be going to questions of the week, you can click with your left mouse button on questions of the week, and that brings up the question of the week, which is going to be right here. That's where we're going to be. But there, when you first join, you'll be in general, and that's where everybody can say hello to you when you first join. So pop in there, and then you can click on any of these specific episode discussions. There is Bigfoot thread with lots of posts. Your skeleton card holder is fab. Great pics. Oh, Maggie. Oh, from the Pocatello. Oh, because I posted these images from Pocatello. I don't know if I ever shared them with you guys here. We can go into this quick, but this is the last conference that I was at just last weekend, as a matter of fact. I was in Pocatello, Idaho, and met all these wonderful people. It was a great time. Had a great time with all of them. This is one of the First Nations artists. I think her name is Paula. And her son, he made some 3D prints of things. Just a really great couple of people. There's Leon, I think is his name. He's a Native American artist doing all these incredible works. And I'm going to try to get him on the show at least the podcast. There's Squatch America with Hannah Burko Violet is on there, and her husband is not in this picture. There's some of the vendors on one side. There's this is a Sasquatch Prince booth with all their stuff. There's the Bigfoot that I posed next to. It was made out of like foam, insulation foam, but it was really cool. Carved out. There's the portal booth. There it is. That was beautiful. And there's Michael Freeman there. And here's another angle of the setups in this area. There's my little skeletal rat holding the card. And then there's a pile of cards there. Thought that was kind of fun. I don't know. There's Dr. Jeff Meldrum. There's Michael Freeman. And there we are back at the beginning. So just some images you guys could check out if you were interested in where I was. But there's so many different threads here. Dogman, Ghost, UFO, extraterrestrial encounters, cryptids. There's even music here if you're a music lover and you want to become introduced to some new music you may not have heard about. This is where people post different songs that they like for whatever reasons. Strange Phenomena and Library, where you can recommend books that you're reading that have to do with the paranormal. Here's paranormal movies. Paranormal art, which is really cool. Oh, Rachel does these weird, like, zombie mushrooms. They're awesome. And then paranormal humor, where there's memes and things like that in here. So lots of fun stuff going on in here. I hope you guys will go check it out. But we're going to go to the question of the week and get going on this. So what is the question of the week? I guess I should address this first. So every week, Chucky Danger, who's been a marvelous, amazing help to me, does a question, asks our Discord community a question. And it has to do with the paranormal. Might be Bigfoot related, might be Dogman, might be cryptid zoology in some form, might be strange phenomena, ghost, UFO, etc. But he asked the question because I love hearing your guys' take on these things. You guys always hear my thoughts of these things because I got a microphone and I'm talking to you guys every week. But this is your opportunity to weigh in and let us know what you think. So this week's question is, why do you think cattle mutilations happen? And who do you think is most likely the culprit, aliens or some other beings? Well, let's see. First coming up is Eric the Wandering Purple Hobbit says, I don't believe there is just one culprit involved in this scenario. Okay, so there might be several reasons that cattle are mutilated. But I think, specifically speaking, I think what Chucky was going after was the laser-like precision incisions, the lack of any blood, the missing organs and organisms, the fact that carcasses that are left behind are ignored, absolutely ignored by predators. Like, predators won't come and predate on these pieces of flesh laying around. They won't touch them. So something has happened that has absolutely, that, I don't know, on an instinctual level, or maybe there's something they're detecting. They're like, nope, stay the hell away from that. So maybe it's a radiation of some kind. Maybe it's something else. But these are very peculiar incidents that happen seemingly in the presence of some kind of craft that's observed. So that's Eric's take. Maybe it's several different things. Good take. It could be. Andy Manuel comes up next and says, I'm honestly not sure. Crows and ravens will do razor beak number on the eyes and other soft tissues. And then again, I had a friend from a ranch in Alberta, Canada, and she said that she saw some mutilations that weren't that. Is it necessarily aliens? I think that depends on what exactly has happened. A cauterized surgical removal of organs begs the question. Torn open with Bigfoot and wolf tracks raises other possibilities. Sure, yeah, sure. All right, Hallelujah Goat comes in and says, because the aliens need to eat too. Fair enough. Apparently they have a real hankering for some cowiness for some reason. I don't know why. Why cowiness? Those things are always cored out. I don't understand that. But anyway, let's go to Android Paranormal. It says, I definitely think it's aliens. The cuts are too precise and the missing blood indicates the cow was butchered somewhere else and then brought back. It would take a very advanced technology to do that, either extraterrestrial aliens or interdimensional aliens. Why do they do that? Well, I believe it was John Lear, son of Bill Lear, who invented the Learjets, had some documents he claims were documents, classified government documents, that said aliens did this because they did not have proper digestion system. So they drain down blood and cut out certain organs and then blend it all up. And they smear this raw cow smoothie all over their body to absorb the nutrients through their skin. The documentary that James Fox did called Moment of Contact on a UFO that crashed in Brazil in 1996, and one of the witnesses was a military guy who captured one of the aliens running away from the craft, but when the military guy captured the alien, it was very slimy and smelled repulsive. But then weeks later, that same army guy died from an unknown infection on an arm cut that he obtained when he captured the alien with his bare hands. James Fox interviewed one of the doctors on camera that worked on this guy. The doctor said they were never able to identify what got in that cut that killed him. So capturing a slimy alien that smells disgusting, then dying from some sort of infection seems to be in synchronicity with the documents John Lear had back in the 1980s. Seems like an awful big synchronicity separated by about a decade and on the other side of the hemisphere. Yeah, fair enough. I guess if that's a cow smoothie, that's, first of all, disgusting. That's terrible. But what if the bacteria that was hosted on this alien body was also not from here? I mean, it would be much like when settlers came over and introduced smallpox to the native populations. I mean, it decimated them. They had no natural defense to it. Their bodies were just consumed by these things. So I imagine it would be a similar scenario for sure. Crypted Chaos comes in next and says, I think majority are aliens, not all, but most of them are. And I think they're using them as practice. Interesting. Charlenzen comes in next and says, first, it was aliens or the cartel, aka shadow government, deep state people in black helicopters. Then it became Dogman and even Bigfoot, etc., etc. For me, it makes more sense that bad aliens are the culprits. How and why, I don't care to know. It is upsetting that they're doing this to these poor animals, and we know it's not only cattle they do this to. I think it's more noticeable because farmers are losing thousands of dollars as these douche canoes really are just going in and helping themselves. I do wonder if this is also happening in India, where cows are sacred in Hinduism. I imagine they'd find this atrocious. Doing some quick Googling, cattle can represent Mother Earth. Maybe there is something to that, maybe not. Interesting. We're going to go on to Eric the Wandering Purple Hobbit again. It says, hey everyone, anyone ever been curious about sirens? Well, that's another question for sure. Mermaids are sirens. Okay. That's, it could be something else. Rachel says, like beings from a parallel dimension that use samples from our cattle to possibly find differences in the cattle from their dimension. Who knows? There could be classes that their animals have that ours don't. There could be, why did I say classes? There could be diseases that their animals have that ours don't. And the samples they take could help lead to a cure. Karen Alberting says, personally, I think it might be aliens. There's been a bunch of mutilations in Colorado and the San Juans near the sand dunes, and those seem to be really strange. And the ones by Skinwalker Ranch, too, if I recall, though. I may be wrong. Weren't there high levels of radiation found with them? That's why I'm thinking aliens, though some I think can be explained away by animals eating soft organs like the eyes and such, as they decompose other parts, vultures and such too, but the overnight ones, I can't see what it could be. Sorry for the rambling. No, there's no rambling. That's fantastic. I don't know. I did ask George Norrie something about this, and he thought, he had a pretty cool take. When I interviewed George Norrie, he said, he said he thinks it's testing, that they're doing long-term kind of, long-term, what's the word I'm trying to use? Long-term scientific experiments. And they do these samplings to see how maybe it's affecting these organisms. And maybe that's true. I mean, it certainly would be an explanation if they're taking certain samples that they've been tracking for a long time. Maybe the soft tissues are the easiest to harvest in order for testing to happen. I don't know. And certainly the blood would be a necessary testing element as well. So what could it be? I don't know. But that's as good a guess as any. And I thought George's response was pretty great. So anyway, this has been the question of the week. Thank you to everybody that weighed in on it. Thanks for the other question, Eric. That's a decent one. Sirens, I think, would be a good other question. I don't know if we've asked one like that before or not. I don't recall. But I'm sure Chucky's on the ball. So anyway, interesting enough. Could be aliens like Steak take samples. Clone the crap out of one collection of samples, feed billions back home, and come back and do it again. Yeah, you never know. That's a possibility. I mean, we just don't know any of this stuff. So that's kind of the frustrating part about all of this, really, is to have just a boatload of questions, but just to have no answers. And will we ever get those answers? I don't know. Maybe when we pass on to the next world, all the answers become ours and we'll know all this stuff. But it's those of us that are here that have all the questions, and maybe we carry them with us. But I don't know. I would really like to get something sorted out in this paranormal stuff. Just something. Let's nail down something that we can demonstrably test and prove, and then go on to the next thing, whatever that would be. Because I imagine it's probably going to be like everything else. When we know one thing, it really teaches us all the questions that we need to ask after that. So every one step forward leads to 1,000 other steps that we didn't know we needed to take. So maybe this is all the same, and it's just this cornucopia of endless possibilities. But, I don't know. Linda Moulton Howe said that there were kangaroos that had similar mutilations. Oh, interesting. That is interesting. I hadn't heard about that. Most mammals don't have 4 stomachs. Yeah, I always thought that was the comedy part of it. It's like the aliens were marveling at the fact that, look, they got 4 stomachs and only one of these donuts at the back end. I don't know. That's just me being an idiot. But anyway, it's interesting. But thank you to everybody that weighed in on the question of the week. I do appreciate your insights and your ideas. And I think it's fascinating stuff. I don't know if we'll ever know, but we currently don't now. So that's why we had it as a question. Thank you, Chucky, for all your work on this. If you're out there listening, we really appreciate it, and all of your help in wrangling the questions every week. So Maggie Roos are herbivores, not meat eating like bugs or lizards. I don't know. I think they're mostly herbivores. I don't know. It's surprising the amount of things that actually can eat meat, like squirrels. Squirrels will eat meat. They'll kill other squirrels and cannibalize them, or they'll sometimes kill birds. I mean, it's crazy. These are squirrels. They, feed them a nut, they're good to go. But apparently, even deer will apparently graze on carcasses once in a while. So it's surprising the amount of animals that will eat meat that we traditionally regard as strictly herbivores. Yeah. So that's the question of the week, folks. Don't know. Great question, though. Great question. I don't know any answers, but I find it absolutely fascinating and compelling. So what is it? Who knows? Will we ever know? Probably not, but maybe. You never know. Science is growing pretty darn quick. So we got that going for us. Everything needs a little, if it's of animal protein. Yeah, I think so. I mean, but it is surprising. I was like, when I learned that squirrel actually cannibalize other squirrels, it's like, God, really? So that was a game changer for me personally. It's like, no, they're not just cute little fuzz monkeys. They're sometimes horrible little demons. I feed them goober peas and tell them where they hit them. What? Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Strict herbivores, according to the search engine. Yeah, I mean, well, so are deer. Deer are supposed to be strict herbivores too, but they've been seen feasting on dead things. And That's surprising. But anyway, I'm no expert. Squirrels like nuts, both kinds. Jesus, Batman, I got to learn not to read your comments out loud. I'm just kidding. That's funny. Do we as a species study other things in our food chain to track ourselves? I don't know what that means, Maggie. I heard humans are gamey. Well, actually, I've heard that humans are in some cannibalistic societies is sometimes called long pork, because apparently the human body is almost indistinguishable from pork. Like anybody ever needed to know that. If Dogman taught how to shot a gun, then could he teach other dogmen? Probably, I guess. If they're intelligent, we usually regard dogmen as very intelligent, and I think sometimes I've seen plenty of idiots shoot guns. So it's not an IQ test, that's for sure. And if stupid people can do it, then I'm sure a dogman or Bigfoot could maybe sort it out. So anyway, never mind. I can't explain my thinking. Fair enough, Maggie. I can't usually explain mine either. But great question, Scott Baker. Nice to meet you. That's a new name. I always like seeing new names because it means more people are coming and checking out the portal, which is always awesome. And we're right at 8 o'clock. God, that just went like clockwork, didn't it? Craziness. But that was the question of the week, Discord question of the week. So I hope you guys will join Discord if you're not already on there. Become part of the conversation. And as you can see, there's lots of things going on in there. Like, I always have a race with ZX81V2 to see who can post the newest nukes top 5. And I always lose. That guy is always on the job. I mean, he's always, I'll be like, oh, it just came out. And I'll grab the link and go over and it's already been posted. It's like, dope. He always gets it up there on Discord before I do. You read that. Love you, Brent. Love you too, Joseph. Appreciate it. Appreciate the love. Okay. Then the other white meat. Yeah, that would be humans probably. Ugh. That's a scary prospect. I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't, I don't know if you can ever say never, but it would take the last shred of desperation in a whole mountain of desperation for me to go, you know what? I'll have a little bit of fill. I'm feeling a little hungry. I'm going to get my fill. At what point does like human meat go like, yeah, you know what? I could use a roast. I don't know. I'd rather chew on leaves until I couldn't do it anymore. Humans are gamey and porky. That could be inferred so many ways. I didn't mean inappropriately. I just meant, you think of porky like overweight, or is that stew really? Batman says stew. Jesus. My dad was a firefighter. That's how I know. According to the monkey ladder banana experiment, potentially. I don't know what that all means. Maggie, when you're talking about makes sense, mercury builds up in larger fish from smaller fish to mercury in the environment absorbed through the skin, then bigger fish eat them, building it up. Yeah, it sounds like kind of like DDT in the 50s or whatever, when it was used as a pesticide and almost killed off bald eagles everywhere because it was just going through the food chain. That stuff never wore out. And I think the only reason it's gotten better is because they quit using it, and the DDT that did exist is still in the bottom of creek beds and stuff, but it's been covered up by silt now. And so that's why they, are real adamant about not disturbing the silt before you try to drink water out of a source, because there could be layers of chemical under there. Never know. Anyway, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about usually. All right, but we're going to get back to some Cryptid Corner. I guess it's about time, right? So let's do that. Because it's time, ladies and gentlemen, for the Cryptid Corner, I think. Pass me a slice of Copilot. Alive? Joseph, I think Okay, I might not be able to read yours anymore out loud either. That's all kinds of disturbing. Ugh. All right, before I lose what food I am digesting, I'm going to go back to the next part of the show, which is, ladies and gentlemen, this part. Welcome to the Cryptid Corner, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to explore the creatures and strangeness of things like Dogman and Bigfoot and anything else we can squeeze into the program. Scott Baker asked, "Are Dogmen trained by military here to protect man from alien invasion?" You know, I don't know. I've heard a lot of wild claims through the years of there being Dogmen. And then there's dog soldiers, which allegedly are purported to be some kind of genetics experimentations that have produced these military-like creatures. I don't know. I don't really buy into that too much personally, just because I don't know how that would come about. I don't doubt that there's been plenty of experimentation with genetics and things like that. I know that it's always been the vision of many powers throughout the world to create a super soldier, a soldier that's faster, quicker, stronger, and more durable by far than just a normal human being. And I'm sure there's been horrifying tests. I mean, during World War II, the Nazis apparently experimented with gorillas and trying to crossbreed them with human beings. And apparently Stalin was doing the same thing in Russia to some degree. So I'm sure it didn't just suddenly stop being a thing. I don't know about, are there any successful experiments, and were they created for things like alien protection and stuff like that? I don't know. I mean, that's so wildly speculative, and anybody that says that they know that that's the case, I'm not pretending that they couldn't be right. I would be extraordinarily skeptical of such claims, because who could possibly know? I mean, if there is a program like that, that would be in complete violation to a number of international treaties. And so if there is programs going on like that, they would be so secretive and so compartmentalized that, if people did have insider knowledge of it, they may have, just pieces of knowledge. But to put together a whole picture like that, I don't know. Again, the hard part about all of this being the paranormal, the supernatural, the conspiracy angles, is that people jump to some incredible conclusions, but allegedly based on insider knowledge and knowing somebody and certain programs and having, insider access to forbidden knowledges and hidden knowledges and top secrets. And I just don't know. I mean, it's easy to make claims, and I would just caution anybody against jumping on board of these ideas just at face value. Well, I saw this video and it said this, so I believe that. Well, based on what though? I think it's important to, be skeptical, but I mean, you can be open-minded, but still remain a little skeptical, because there's a lot of weird ideas out there, and there's not really any litmus test to all of this stuff. Like, the whole claims of the many, many, many claims of Bigfoot. Just for instance, in one instance, Bigfoot is from UFOs, or it's interdimensional, or it's spiritual, or it's these great sages in the forest that have supernatural abilities, or it's an ape, or it's a old extant hominid that somehow has remained hidden, and it's all of these things. Well, they can't all be right, but what is the right answer? I don't know. So anyway, just I just encourage everybody to weigh these things with a good degree of skepticism until you collect enough information. And I'm not saying you shouldn't believe any of this stuff. I'm just saying don't accept things on blind faith, because there's a lot of there's a lot of people in these fields that are, I can't say it any other way than they are bad actors that are just trying to perpetuate their spin on things. And it might be for ego, it might be for monetary gain, it might be for some kind of control or power. I don't know, but I just try to keep myself guarded before I accept things at face value. Now, I do believe anything's possible, so don't get me wrong. It's not like I don't believe any of them could be true. It's just I'm not jumping to any conclusions until I have more convincing evidence to one conclusion or another. So there's a lot to be understood about this stuff. All right, let's find out what's going on here in the Cryptid Corner. We're going to start out with a article from August 2nd from Sasquatch Chronicles blog. Again, thanks, Wes, for everything. You've been a long-time wonderful friend of the show, and I appreciate all that you do. August 2nd, this is a figure captured near the Great Dismal Swamp. And Wes says, I edited the original video and slowed down the clip from the beginning, and it's too hard to tell if anything is there. It's darker than its surroundings, but it's impossible to say one way or the other. I appreciate the listener sending it to me. And a listener writes, this is the original message. My husband went hiking alone in Chesapeake, Virginia, near the Great Dismal Swamp. He took several videos and saw this upon reviewing the videos. Just wanted to show you and see what you think. Looks like something leans in and looks down the culvert towards my husband, and then leans back as if hiding. Curious what you think. Well, let's check it out. And again, this is from Sasquatch Chronicles YouTube channel. Let's take a look at what Wes is presenting here. Not sure where it's going to appear, but I'll move my camera if I need to. I think it's there. Maybe? Huh. Huh. Let's check that out again. I'm going to do it without the volume this time. But it looks like it's down the path there. Let's go back. Yeah, there is a black something. But there is a tree in the front, and that might be obscuring. It's not a big tree. It's a thin tree like this, but there is something there that might be obscuring it and making it look like it's ducking behind. But it may not be moving at all. It could just be the camera motion that's creating that effect, but it does look like something leans out and then leans back, but it might be due to the motion of the camera more than it's actually, and the motion of the person. So the person's perspective is changing. If he was just stationary, but he's moving forward and panning at the same time, so he's really changing a lot of trajectories all at once, and we're looking at something that's possibly stationary in the back, but it's hard to measure whether it's truly moving or not, because it doesn't really disappear. It's still there. Let me go back. Well, let's go forward and see when it slows down. Like, here's the figure. Then this tree moves out as the person is moving. And I don't think it actually goes anywhere because it's still there. It's just being obscured by the tree. And then as he moves past, you can see that it's a little bit bigger there. So I'm not so sure that something... There's the Paranormal Portal new sponsor. 1.1 thousand views. Can you believe that? Wes should feature me more on his channel. It's good for views. I don't know. This is a good video. It's arguable. I'd love to know what you guys think. As you're watching this, what are you seeing? It might be. Are you guys able to see it? Let me watch on the broadcast stream here. I just want to see. You can see it. Okay. Okay. Good. Yep. It's still there. I don't know, folks. What do you think? It could be anything? Yep. Fair enough. You can at least boxaroo in the fair fight. Okay. That's good to know, Joseph. Thanks. I'm just curious what you guys have to say about this. Anybody? What is your take on this? Anybody? Let me know. Do you think that there's a creature hiding in the background there? Or what is your take on this? Let's see what Ron S. says. Personally, I don't see anything moving or peeking out. I see someone sidestepping and panning while the camera makes a slight adjustment of brightness. Some light and darker areas on a couple trees in the foreground make the object appear to change shape or move to some people, as does the sidestepping. I got nothing. But the person filming felt uneasy. There could be something causing it. I just don't know if that's the thing by the trail. Did they eventually go over there and film any more? Or did they go back to a different day and look again? Did they run? Is this a test? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm not even looking at the right thing. And Wes says, there is something there, but I agree the panning of the camera makes it look like it's moving. I'm glad they sent it to me. I wish more people would record. Yeah, absolutely. That's very true. So, what do you believe? It's a dog man. Just kidding. I have no idea what it is. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, it's hard to say. Bueller. Paranormal Portal, too little to go in to see for sure. Yep, absolutely. And that's true of most every video out there. It's like, you only get a snapshot of something. You don't get too much to go on. So it's hard to draw any real conclusions. But, just on first blush, all we can do with these, and again, I did reaction videos on this channel before they were a thing anywhere else, and I didn't realize that was kind of groundbreaking, but it was. However, I got a bunch of copyright strikes because the original owners apparently didn't like that I was featuring their videos and talking about them. So I had to just hide all of them. They're still in the playlist, but they're hidden now. But the thing is I don't expect anybody to look at a short video like that and go, well, that's definitely this or that's definitely that. I mean, what we have is just a peephole into a moment. We can't see anything else around. We can't know the area. We can't know the equipment. We can't know any number of things that would be questions that anybody seriously investigating would need to ascertain and ask. And then the person should go back there and refilm in that same area, following the same trajectory as much as they can, and see if it duplicates just based on what's there, or was something not there that used to be there. And if that's the case, then it is more suspicious that it could be something else. But, to jump to a conclusion like, oh yeah, that's definitely a dog man, and clearly it was stalking this person, or it's a Bigfoot, I mean, there's just not enough to know. So fair enough. I don't expect anybody's absolute, conviction on this, but I'm just curious what you guys think. I don't know. All right. I'm just looking at the chats. There's lots of different chats talking about moose and kangaroos now. So I don't know what you guys are talking about most of the time. Brent, I sent you a Bigfoot sighting on Instagram from a truck, headlights viewpoint. Oh, maybe we should check that out. Let me look. Let's pull up Instagram. I don't usually do this. I usually like to have this stuff kind of plotted out before the show, but we'll do it this time because, we got articles to read through and stories. But let me look at what Rachel sent. Rachel, there it is. All right, let's see if I can open this. Looks like I can. Come on, I don't want to put it on this screen, though. I want to open it on a whole different screen. Can I do this? Nope, that pauses it. I'm trying to open it in a different window so that I'm not showcasing all my private messages here. How do I do this? Is it possible to copy the link? No. Is it gonna? Can I forward it? What is this? Oh, I don't want to reply. I'm trying to figure out how to pull this out of here, Rachel, so that I'm not. Maybe I should just do this and go to his channel. Brim Forever. Let's do this. See if I can see it. Oh, here we go. All right, I think I got it. Okay, let's do this. This is the actual video. Here, I'll pull it over and we'll have a look. Sorry that took a little longer. This is why I usually don't do it live, because I end up wasting a lot of time. But yeah, if you ever send me something on Instagram or TikTok or something like that, do try to let me know. I don't go into either application too often. I do post there from time to time, but I just don't check it out very, very often. So here we go. Let's look at this and see what you guys think. Let's go here. All right, here's the Instagram video from Rachel. I guess that's as big as I can make it, so. Bigfoot caught on truck dash cam by a driver standing over 2 meters tall. Oh, wow. Look at that right there. I'm thinking that's it, right? I think that's it. It does look like that was it. I do think I saw this before, though. I think the guy ends up getting out of the truck and then leaving in a big hurry after this, but that's kind of the initial sighting, is seeing it just standing there in the trees. I mean, there's kind of an eye shine right there. That's plenty big. So that's, I mean, I would bet it's over 2 meters tall. If I'm seeing the right thing. It looks like that's where they're slowing down the film to highlight that. But it does look like eye shine coming back. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, it kind of cuts it there. But I think the longer version of this video is that the guy kind of gets out and then goes, oh, hell no, and gets out of there. But I don't know what else happens. Like he hears something coming through those trees towards him or something. Yeah. That does look... I wish I could make it bigger, though. I don't know how to. I just don't know how. If I can make it any bigger. But this is from Bien Forever, is the channel that has it. It says, an incredible moment. A Bigfoot was recorded by a truck driver on its truck dash camera on a job site near Sunchild First Nation Reservation in Alberta, Canada. You can clearly see him staring right out at the vehicle, standing over 2 meters tall with his black fur. This sighting is truly amazing. No copyright infringement intended. Yeah, for either of us. I mean, if it's a good capture, that's fantastic. But he did put his own watermark on there. It says "Bien Forever" as if he owns it. I don't think he owns it. But anyway, I want to look at it again. But I wish I could find a bigger version of this to really blow it up to show you guys better. But this is about as good as we can do. I mean, there it is again. That's standing right in between those trees. It looks like, I don't know where they're getting the black fur from, though. It looks almost two-tone there or something. I'm not sure what's going on. Unless I'm looking at the wrong thing altogether. But there it is. What do you guys think? Is that the real thing? Could be. I mean, I do like the idea of it being a dash cam capture from a truck. I mean, who the hell's going to stage this stuff? Maybe somebody would. I don't know. It's kind of peculiar. But you be the judge again. Thank you, Rachel, for sending that over. I do appreciate it. We are going to go... Actually, I'm going to go to this last one first because we do so very few of these. And these, I think, are cool stories because it deals with... I mean, we do a ton of Bigfoot stuff, and we do some Dogman stuff. We do some pale crawlers. But Lon did a story here. Apparently, it's an old tale. But it's called... And this is from phantomsandmonsters.com, so check it out. Lon's got just a plethora of amazing encounter stories going on over here. But this is a Claricon's tale from colonial Philadelphia. And you can find out a lot more about Lon and his work, as well as his own podcast, which is Phantoms and Monsters Radio. And he has a YouTube channel, so check that out. Phantoms and Monsters Radio. Excuse me. So a Claricon, in case you aren't familiar, is kind of like the drunk, crabby cousin of a leprechaun. They're oftentimes, according to Robin Moonshadow, who's a wonderful friend, has been on the show several times. She talks about Claricon stories from time to time, and they're these rambunctious relatives, apparently, of leprechauns. So think of leprechauns, except maybe not always guarding a pot of gold and wearing shamrocks. But anyway, let's check this out. This is a Claricon's tale from colonial Philadelphia. And a reader asked, I was wondering if you have ever heard of a leprechaun or fairy experience in America. I wanted to share this with you, and thanks for your daily posts. From Susan. And I received an email inquiry from a reader. Well, I've written about and reported a few fairy-like being encounters over the years, including a leprechaun or two, and there are also legends of the Tommyknockers in mining areas worked by Irish immigrants throughout North America. After I received the inquiry, I looked back through my files, including a few journals I'd kept from the 70s, and I did manage to find an odd anecdote that was told to me by a friend of a friend in 1976 while in Philadelphia. From what I gathered, an ancestor by the name of Finn, who lived in colonial, or it says Colonel, but it's colonial Philadelphia, I had a bit of trouble keeping port wine on hand. It seemed that each morning he noticed that the level of a barrel he kept in the cellar got lower. In fact, it had gotten to a point where he thought his wife was taking a dipper full each night while he slept, though he'd never known her to have a taste for the stuff. One day, while working at the dock, he asked his friend Donald what he thought about the situation, and Donald looked back at Finn and laughed. His nibs sampling your stock. His nibs is sampling your stock. Finn had no idea what Donald was referring to. His nibs, a Claricon, is stealing your spirits. Honestly, when I heard the story, I had no idea what a Claricon was. Apparently, it's an Irish fairy that resembles the leprechaun, and some describe the Claricon as a night form of the leprechaun who goes out to drink after finishing his daily chores. Claricons are said to favor drunkenness more than not. However, unlike their cousins, they are surly. If you treat them well, they'll protect your wine cellar. However, if mistreated, they will wreak havoc on a home and spoil the wine stock. And occasionally, he can be heard singing Irish folk songs in the wine cellars. The Claricon is great to have around the house because he also protects your home from vandals and thieves. And they're also referred to clawbears and his nibs. That's weird. According to Donald, if Finn wanted to see the Claricon and leave a cup of wine on the nightstand, it can't resist an offer of a drink, Donald warned. Don't scare it away. There will be dire consequences if you do. Well, that night, Finn left a full cup of wine on his nightstand, hoping to catch a glimpse of the imp. A little bit after midnight, Finn heard the floorboards creaking. As he slowly opened his eyes, he gazed upon a small, 3-foot man wearing a red hat made of plant leaves and a red wool vest. It resembled leprechauns in all its physical characteristics, and as he watched, the Claricon reached for the cup. A horrific scream shot from behind him. His wife also caught a glimpse of the small being and reacted instinctively. The Claricon dropped the cup on the floor and dashed out of the room, and Finn thought, what now? Finn tried to lure the Claricon back to its good graces with several offers of wine, but it was never successful. And it's said that Finn could never keep fresh wine again. It always turned to vinegar as soon as it was brought into the house. Well, that's interesting. Now, it's kind of legendary, but there you go. Belief in the Tommyknockers was brought over by the Welsh and Cornish and not the Irish. Okay. I didn't know that. That's interesting. But there you have it. That's a Claricon. I don't know if you ever notice your liquor's going low. Either you've got a rambunctious teenager or a Claricon. I had some friends when I was a teenager, and they would raid their parents' cabinets all the time. And we would, well, I got to say I partook. We got absolutely wasted, and they would fill up the whatever we took with water. So you'd have these Windsor bottles that were like really watered down and stuff, and I don't know. I think they were caught, and you know, what do you do? But so either you got a Claricon or you got a teenager. I'm just saying. Funny stuff, folks. Funny stuff. But there you have it. That's a Claricon's tale. You might not have ever heard that before. It's interesting. Again, it's folklorish because it's so old and probably been far removed from the source, and who knows what the truth of the matter is, if there's any truth at all. But these are, cultural tales, and maybe there's some merit to them. Maybe there's some part of them that is very true. And what that part is, it's hard to differentiate. Unless you ever get a chance to talk to a Claricon. Then you might get this whole scoop. I don't know, what would it be like? Because, that's the thing. I think about, there's been a lot of sightings through the years. People in the forests seeing these diminutive, old-looking men with beards and stuff, like gnome-like hats, walking through, chopping wood, carrying some small axe and hauling wood back to, some hovel of theirs. And it's kind of endearing in a sense. Like, oh, there might be these little people out there doing their life right on the fringe of our life. And what would you say? What would you say? And let's say, you're walking through the snow and you see these little prints. Well, I mean, you probably would dismiss them as maybe a rabbit or some other type of small critter. You wouldn't really think, are they look like shoes, or do they look like, paw prints? Unless you're a trapper or someone that would be more specifically interested in what game goes by an area. But, what if they're out there? What if they're living right on the fringes of our societies, or even within our societies? There's legend of house gnomes, things like that. These are gnomes that choose to live right in company with us. I don't think that they're necessarily, I don't know if there is such a thing, if they're necessarily on the same vibrational level as we are, but these legends have persisted for all this time. The claims still come in of people seeing these strange things that they can't quantify with their modern sensibilities. So is it possible these things are out there? I don't know. I keep an open mind. Again, I can't prove nor disprove it, but I like the idea of a world where these things exist. I really do. I think it's fascinating. I think that makes the world kind of fun and adventurous still. I don't like the idea of a world where everything's categorized and labeled and scientifically, stamped and placed on a shelf somewhere. I like the idea that there's still magic and mystery in this world. And so I find the idea of things like this existing really cool. I really do. So, but you be the judge for your own experience and your own paradigm. All right, let's see what else I got, because I got a lot more. Here we go. This one's from August 1st. This is from Phantoms and Monsters. Urban Bigfoot reported in Chino, California residential area. I thought this was interesting because oftentimes when we think about Bigfoot and the like, other cryptids as well, we think that, you got to go way out into the sticks. You got to go to the deep woods where people just aren't. But surprisingly, there's a large body of reports that happen really close to population centers. Surprisingly close. And you wouldn't think that was a thing. But I'm just telling you, that people have claimed to see them, including when, an old show we did years ago, we covered a story about people discovering Bigfoot in apparently an abandoned house in Detroit. Now, I don't know. I guess it's possible. Here's why I think it's possible, because I do think Bigfoot are intelligent. I think that they are probably displaced a lot of times from our expansions and our taking over of the natural world, if you will. And so I think that possibly many of them have learned to adapt to survive and live around us. Now, I don't know that they always live in our population centers, but I do believe that they may make excursions into our population centers. And I'm not saying like downtown Detroit or something, but I'm just saying like maybe some suburban areas they would go visit, because again, we're a pretty wasteful society. It's urban aggravated. Yeah. We're a wasteful society. We throw a lot. We throw away foods that many things would be happy to eat. And so we offer the low-hanging fruit. So if you've been displaced already by expansion of people into the areas that were ancestral homes, well, maybe you stay, but you learn to survive off of what we don't consume or our waste or whatever. And is that possible? And I think it is. I think that they are so good at what they do. They are so quick. They're so strong. They're able to, agilely traverse obstacles that we couldn't dream of getting around, that they can come in and out at will and probably never be noticed. Most people are not accustomed to looking for something 8 or 10 feet tall. Most people, especially in urban centers, would probably pass by something that big and just think it was a tree trunk or something, just honestly. So, I've been in the company, not taken. I've been in the company of people that are never really in the rural areas. I've been in the company of those people like that were raised in incredibly, metropolitan areas, and their first excursions into the country to see a cow, to see what that means. They could recognize a cow based on the drawings they'd seen and depictions of it, but when they see them in person, it's like, oh my God, these things are huge, and it is. It's surprising. So I don't know. I think it's very possible. Let's read this one. John's going. John's having. Good night, John. Thank you for being here, brother. It's great to see you. Let's go to this one. It is 8:35. Yeah, we can get through this one. And probably one more. A witness contacted me about their observation of a Bigfoot in a residential area of Chino, California, while he and his wife were driving after visiting a friend. Says, hello, sir. I found you through a Google search. I also contacted somebody local, but they never got back to me. Maybe you can explain what I witnessed. On Sunday, December 16th, my wife and I were driving through a residential area of Chico, California. Is it Chico or Chino? It's okay. This is Chico, it says here, but it's Chino up here. I was around 11 p.m. and we'd been visiting a friend for the holidays. Well, I'm not very familiar with the area, but at the time, we were on Vallombrosa Avenue. On the left, there was a wooded park. We'd just driven under the Golden State Highway overpass when suddenly a large, dark, man-like creature leaped out from the woods onto the road. I quickly stopped the car as my tires screeched on the roadway. The creature was massive and had dark hair all over its body. I don't know how wide the road is, but it was across in 3 large leaps. As I reached the north side of the road, it turned around, it turned around and looked directly at us. My wife was terrified and crouched down in her seat. I caught a brief golden-colored reflection from its eyes. I hit the accelerator and quickly continued driving. I'd driven about 100 yards or so and then noticed that either this creature was keeping pace with me or that I passed another similar creature on my left side crouched down by the road. I still think that this was another creature because it looked smaller in size than the creature I witnessed previously. By this time, I was very concerned and scared. I was hoping that there would be no traffic lights until we reached the turnoff to get onto the highway. I live about 80 miles north of Chico, in an area where there have been a few Bigfoot reports, but I've never heard of any in Chico, let alone in a residential location. Well, I talked to my friend in Chico, and he said that there was a sighting in his area back in the 90s, but nothing recent. Most of the sightings in his county, Butte County, have been in an area 30 miles southeast of Chico, near Lake Oroville. I checked out the BFRO website and verified what my friend said. I know that we witnessed something that night, and I think there were more than one of these creatures roaming around. I would appreciate your thoughts. Thanks, Jerry. And Lon answers, says, I sent an email to Jerry for more details, and he states that the being was definitely similar to the Bigfoot descriptions he had seen, and he estimated that it was 8 feet in height and around 500 pounds. It was probably much more than that. Jerry said he retired from the military and served in Vietnam, Grenada, and Iraq. And this is the first time he's seen anything similar to what he witnessed in December of 2016. He's not positive about what the second being is, but is confident that it is a Bigfoot and that it is not the same being he witnessed earlier. I believe that Jerry is sincere In his assessment, maybe other information will surface. Yeah, there you go. That's Chico, Butte County. Okay, Chico. Thank you, Jordan. Appreciate that. I used to live there, but not for long. Okay. I mean, is it a nice area, or is it kind of a mess, or what was your take on it? Huh. River Da make sense to me when they are sighted in a populated area. I don't know. I'm not quite sure what you're saying there, Karen. River Bida? Anyway. Apparently dogmen are around rivers in Australia, too. Yeah. I interviewed a gentleman that was kayaking and had a dogman experience. Cade also interviewed him, and Cade's interview with the guy went kind of viral and was picked up by news agencies. Mine wasn't. Or maybe this one's better. I don't know how Cade got viral. It's not fair. No, it's fine. That was happy for him. That was really cool. Charlie, don't surf. How you doing? Good to see you. Charlie, Dogman. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, I think it was Creepers Cryptids. Yeah, that's who it was. He went on to start Creepers Cryptids. Yeah, that's exactly who it was. But a very interesting take, and he had a photo to prove it. So, and it looked just like a dogman to me. Not that I've seen them, but I've heard the descriptions enough to go, yeah, that's what it looked like. Hi, Brent. John LaBella here lives 45 minutes from Chico and 50 minutes from Lake Oroville. Very nice area. Okay, thank you, John. I appreciate that. I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty geographically challenged. I only basically know where I've lived, and that's not a whole lot of places. Driven through a lot of places, but I couldn't give you much of an opinion on them other than, yeah, I drove through them. So very cool story, but yeah, it doesn't surprise me. The urban Bigfoot, I think, is probably something that happens maybe more regularly than we would guess. I mean, generally speaking, again, we think of Bigfoot and they think, oh, they stay away the whole way from people. And granted, if they want to, avoid people, they probably shouldn't go into urban areas. But again, if they're displaced enough, obviously they can feed themselves to their absolute fill, just dumpster cruising around here. So it doesn't surprise me that some of them would take advantage of that. Now, I don't know what the situations are. Maybe there's something wrong with those Bigfoot that they can't really chase down game anymore, so they move into the easier to acquire survival situations. And certainly, as wasteful as we are, that must be us. So, I don't know. Let's go to the next one, though. This one's kind of creepy. I don't know what it is about big bugs, but the whole idea of these mantis-like big bugs, and they're probably something extraterrestrial or extra dimensional and stuff, and it's probably my own narrow thinking, but when I think of bugs, I just think of things that go, oh, food, I can eat you, like praying mantises. For me, are kind of a nightmare bug, and I don't know, they just are very good at what they do. They're very successful hunters, and they don't like kill things. They just start eating as soon as they grab onto stuff. They just start eating, and I think, oh God, just at least kill it. At least a spider will like bite something and then it dies and then it eats it, and But man, those mantises will just start chowing down, just like so many other bugs. It's just brutal. It's like, oh. So when I think of a big version of that, I just think, oh God, this is not good. I think of that movie Mimic all the time. And if you guys haven't seen the movie Mimic, it's really a creepy movie. It's like super duper creepy. But it's these, just to give you a bit of an idea if you're not familiar with it. It's a movie, I think it was from the 90s, but it was these man-sized, cockroach things, but they had developed a camouflage to be right among people and look like somebody with like a trench coat on, just with its head kind of obscured. And they would kind of communicate like they're making clicking sounds. And it mostly went unnoticed, but then they would like grab somebody from the subway and then disappear and be like, what the hell just happened? Well, the bug people got the person and were going to eat them, I'm sure. So it's just really gross. But I think that, when I think of people seeing these man-sized bugs, That's really nightmare fuel for me. So here it is. Bug aliens, UAP, and mantis beings encountered near Stillwater, Nevada. So they never stop. Yeah, they're right. If there was giant mantis, thank God for nuclear weapons. I don't know. Yeah, headless. Yeah. I saw this meme and it was this headless mantis. I don't know if I made it or I saw it, but anyway, this is a long time ago. But it's like this headless mantis going up to his friends going, guess who just got laid? it's like, no. Oh, no. Anyway, sorry, I'm being just an idiot. Anyway, this is the story, so let's see what's going on here. This occurred in 1994 in the evening near Stillwater, Nevada. According to the witness, he and his wife were driving under a slight rain in an isolated area when they saw what appeared to be an accident off to the side of the road. Well, it looked like an accident because there were lots of flashing lights around the site, and curious, the witnesses slowed down to see if they could help, and as they came closer, they saw what they thought was an ambulance, but it turned out to be an object resembling a large soda can laying on its side and resting on 3 legs. It was a weird sort of creamy color, but with bright red halo around it. Flashing lights could also be seen around the object. Well, as they watched, fascinated, the wife suddenly let out a blood-curdling scream, and the witness turned around and saw 2 aliens coming towards the car. These were described as bug-like, with their heads looking like praying mantises. Oh, Jesus. They had humanoid-looking bodies, however, they wore bluish-gray jumpsuits. Well, the terrified witness, who was armed with a gun, pulled it out and fired 2 shots towards the road in front of the figures, and this must have startled the humanoids, who suddenly ran back to their landed cylinder-shaped object, and at this point the witnesses began speeding away from the area, and looking back he saw additional similar-appearing humanoids standing around the craft, about 9 or 10 of them, and they did not see the object depart. There you go. It's a small take. I don't think that maybe firing a gun is the best idea, because you don't know what the hell it is or what they're capable of, or if that'll piss them off. I mean, it's just best to get the hell out of there, I think. But creepy stuff. I don't know. And again, I'm only basing that off my own opinion of bugs and how creepy I think they are. I don't dislike bugs. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I know they serve a purpose, and it's a very integral part of our biology and the harmony of nature. But, I mean, they don't really think about things, I don't think. And obviously, if these are advanced beings, they're much more intelligent and probably have, cognitive processes. But still, I just think of things getting eaten by bugs, and it's just horrifying. So, anyway, the Yuba Buttes are beautiful. Oh, I don't know what that is. I'm not sure what Yuba Buttes are. Sounds like a hill, though. Anyway, let's continue on. I don't even know what time it is. Let's see. Ooh, 8:47. How big is this one? Let's see. This is another Bigfoot report. Not too bad. I think we can read this one. This will probably be the last one for the night. This is a Bigfoot highway mishap, Pennsylvania Turnpike witness report. A news article from several years ago, plus a submission that was sent to me. I'm actually surprised that there aren't more traffic mishaps as a result of Bigfoot road crossings. It's actually why I think that as dash cams become more prevalent, eventually somebody's going to get the footage, and it's going to be like the new Patterson-Gimlin film. I really think that will come at some point, because the amount of people that see Bigfoot on road crossings and surprisingly close to the cars, fully illuminated by headlights, is it's really probably one of the most common sighting reports comes from cars driving, and how these things just kind of walk out in front of the cars and cross. But I think that probably will be the next Patterson-Gimlin film. So stay tuned. We'll see if I'm right. Anyway, let's see what this says. Fairfield Township, a 17-year-old Columbiana teen claimed that he saw a Bigfoot while driving on Bunker Hill Road last week. According to the Highway Patrol report, Robert James Meelan Severnich of Metz Road was southbound on Bunker Hill Road at 2:55 a.m. January 28th when he went off the south side of the road and into a rock. The report stated that Severnick told a trooper he went off the road to avoid a creature he described as at least 7 feet tall, with green glowing eyes, hairy, and very well built. He asked the trooper if what he saw was human, and when asked by the trooper if what he saw was human, Severnich replied no, and he believed it to be a Bigfoot. Severnich was cited for failure to control, and the trooper searched the area for any evidence of what Severnich described, but none was found, including any footprints of that nature. Severnich did not appear to be under the influence of any illicit drugs, the report said. Here's a submission that details Bigfoot encroachment on a major highway at night. And they said, "Hello, Mr. Strickler. Thank you for reading this email. Please leave my name and email address out if you decide to use this information. I've been closely following the possible Bigfoot shooting story in Somerset County, Pennsylvania since Wednesday. I know that Bigfoots exist and that they inhabit Somerset County in Pennsylvania. In late November of 1994, my wife and I were traveling from New Jersey west on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, and we were on our way to Steubenville, Ohio, to stay with my wife's brother and his wife for Thanksgiving. At around 9:30 p.m., we were near the town of Somerset, Pennsylvania, so I decided to pull off the highway to stop and get some gas. The station was near the exit, so I quickly filled the tank and headed back towards the turnpike. And I was merging back onto the highway when my wife gasped, and I saw it as well. My headlights had caught a glimpse of a huge hairy creature walking onto the highway on the front right north side of the westbound lane. And I swerved to the left in order to avoid hitting it. There was another similar creature as well, just a few feet behind it. And as I passed the creature, it must have reached out and slammed its hand on the trunk. We heard a loud thud. I looked back in the rearview mirror and noticed brake lights coming from the eastbound lane. I assume it was crossing the highway to the south side. I knew that it was definitely a Bigfoot. I had no doubt that what it was. Well, I continued to drive without stopping, and then I thought that I'd better stop and make sure the taillight was not damaged. I didn't want a trooper stopping me with a broken taillight and then try to tell him a Bigfoot did it, but then again, if it was broke, what was I going to do about it that late at night? Well, anyway, I pulled under the shoulder, grabbed my flashlight, and got out of the car. And I walked back to the trunk and looked around, and I then noticed a slight indentation on the rear passenger side quarter panel. I looked closer and noticed that there were scratch marks on the surface. I wondered if the Bigfoot had been holding something or that its fingernails had caused the scratches. I got back in the car and resumed driving. The Bigfoot was dark brown and had very long, rough hair. I didn't get a good look at the face since the hair almost seemed to cover most of it. My wife and I both estimate that this creature was at least 8 feet tall and had massive long arms and legs. We barely caught a glimpse of the other Bigfoot, but it seemed to be much smaller in height. I grew up on a farm near Monticello, New York. My brother and I had heard the stories about a man-beast that lived in the vicinity of a nearby lake. Well, we never believed these tales until my brother had an encounter with a large hairy man while camping with his friends in the Catskills. He never talked about the incident in detail, only that he was shocked by it. It's a shame because he never went into the woods again. I really didn't want to believe him, but I knew deep down that something significant had happened to him. So when I told him about our encounter, he just smiled and said, "I told you so." There you go. Huh. There you go, smacking cars on the way by. That's pretty crazy. I think I jumped over one on a dirt bike as a kid. Over a Bigfoot? You jumped over one on a dirt bike? Whoa. You must have got some air. Or it was low. I've seen the top of electric poles. Oh, man, you're getting some serious air. That's pretty crazy. Well, there you have it. I don't know. I think it's pretty incredible all the same. Doesn't surprise me people are having urban encounters with these things. I mean, it's obviously not common, but it's not impossible that they would come through our areas. Maybe it's because we built our areas on ancient traditional migration routes, or and I don't want to say migration like they go from the deep north to the deep south, but I think they have pretty big ranges, and they might have traditional paths that they've used for generations upon generations upon generations. And suddenly there's a turnpike there, and maybe they just go through. Maybe they're usually more cautious about it, but sometimes they're just like, no, we got to get going. Let's get going. So maybe they just brave the traffic and say, screw it. But again, it is strange. It is very, very strange stuff. So I don't know. There you go. But this is going to be about the journey for this week on the Paranormal Portal. I hope you guys have enjoyed it, had a good time. I hope you found some merit in attending, and I hope you enjoyed enough that if you're not already subscribed, I hope you get subscribed and become part of what we're doing, or follow us on Twitch or YouTube or Rumble, however you're watching right now. I would love to see more of you guys. It's always wonderful. And great to see you. Let me... Yes, always a great show, Brent. Oh, thank you, Karen. Thank you. Awesome show. Good night, all. Good show. Thank you. You guys are so nice. It's no wonder I love coming back here. You guys make me feel good about what I do. So thank you all for that. Again, remember, in Vernal, Utah, September 4th through the 7th, I'll be down there. Sheldon will be joining me, and we'll be going to Vernal for the Phenomenon. And Tony Merkel will be there as well. So, and a whole host of other people, wonderful people. It's a 4-day event, but it's definitely worth going. If you want more information about it, head to phenomicon.net, and you can see the itinerary for the speakers. And if there's specific days you want to show up for, you don't want to do all 4 days, come for the ones you can. I'll be there every day that it's open. So it'd be great to meet you guys if you manage to get there. So. But as always, it's an incredible pleasure to do these shows. Thank you to everybody that showed up and took part in it. And if you're watching after this is live, thank you so much for that. I appreciate that a bunch as well. Certainly the live shows are a lot of fun, that, those that can make it and chat. But I really want to, extend a big thank you to those of you who watch these shows when they're not live, as replays or whatever. So, no matter how you check out the shows, please, if you enjoyed it, share it. Let other people know about the Paranormal Portal. I'm really working hard to get this to grow now. I've been really putting a lot of effort into networking this show and to let more people know, because we've been at it for, since 2016, the Paranormal Portal has been a show. And it's continually growing, but it's, very, very gradual. And again, I love that those of you that are here because this is where you found a community, and I'm exceptionally grateful for that. And I'm exceptionally grateful for those of you that listen to the podcasts. Those are a lot of fun as well. They're a very different show, but in any case, there's a lot of paranormal to check out on the portal here. And I just appreciate all your love and support, and any efforts you can offer to get the word out there about these shows is exceptionally appreciated by me. So, yes, love Brent and the community. Thank you, Maggie. We love you too. Yeah, I love all of you guys. So remember that. And, remember, if you have stories and you wouldn't mind being a guest on the podcast to talk about your experiences with the paranormal, supernatural, cryptozoological, or strange phenomena, let me know. You can go to paranormalportal.net. Look for the button that says interview me, and it'll bring up my calendar app. You can pick from dates and times that work for you, and we'll do an interview and feature you on one of our episodes. Potentially. I mean, I don't, I can't say that everybody I interview I create a show out of, but most often, 99% of the time. So I would love to have the chance to talk to you about what you've seen. So check out paranormalportal.net. That's also the kind of the main hub for all things Paranormal Portal. If you're interested in gear and stuff, there's a QR code on the main picture. You can scan that and check out our t-shirts and hats and other things that are Paranormal Portal related. And what else? Again, watch for the podcast on all the podcasting platforms everywhere. Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, TalkStream Live, Podbean, Pandora, Google Play, CastBox, Stitcher, and just a bunch of other platforms. So check them out. They're out there. I sent you a pic of Yuba Suter Buttes on Messenger. Okay, thank you, David. I'll check it out. I appreciate it, but remember, love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other, help each other out, find the magic in every day, and remember to laugh as much as you can. I'll be back on Wednesday to do another show with you, so if you're not busy, stop in. They're always Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on the platform you're watching now, whichever of the platforms you're watching on. And so mark your calendars. But again, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here. So love y'all. And I really mean it. So that's it for me. That's all I got. I'm all out of steam and I'm going to go relax. Love you guys. See ya.